Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing good, thanks. Today I thought I would just have a little play. Taking a break from, you can see the blue paint on the right hand side. That's from the 100 Day Project, which is done by the time this video comes out. But I had these coffee filters I've been using for cleanup and for cleaning off paintbrushes. Before I put the paintbrush in water, I like to get as much paint out of them as possible. So I've just been coloring them. And they've got paint, different mediums, whatever on there. And I thought it would be kind of fun to just create a little accordion book with them. Well, it ends up being a regular book, but it started out, it was going to be one of those, not a zine, but that kind of accordion book. Anyways, I had some toned tan, is what it's called, sketchbook paper. It's not very thick, but I thought I'd put a little color down. And since the blue's sitting right there to my right hand side, just throw a little blue on there. And then I decided I needed something else, and I went for pink. Is that too sweetsy? Anyways, I like how this turns out. It is bright and pink and fun. Anyway, kind of goes with the coffee filters that I have torn up, and I'm gonna glue them on with just with some Yoo-Hoo glue stick. Just because the sketchbook paper that is my base is not very thick, and it would just get all warped if I used a liquid glue. So we're gonna glue this on with Yoo-Hoo, and hopefully the paint is dry enough. So I tore them into chunks, and I'm just randomly, like, there's no thought, just filling in spaces, keeping same colors, like all over, so there's an all over kind of look to the whole thing. That one has a bit of red in there. Some of them, the paint's gone all the way through. I can't tell which is the back side and which is the front side. So I just pick wherever. And I'm letting it go off the edge. I'll trim that after I've glued everything down. I had one with some actual pink. Put it in the middle of the blue. So I know I asked, how's everyone today? I hope you're doing well. This is just one of those kind of take a break, mindless sort of creations. I love to do this kind of thing where you don't know, like when you do a master board and then you turn it over and cut it up, you know. You just don't quite know what it's going to turn into. I think that's a lot of fun. So I think it's a lot of fun to just take scraps and glue them down. And we're going to turn this into a book and see what it looks like. If any of you have been following my channel, I've had roofing issues where I've had to have the roof replaced. Well, shingles, you know, redone. And they're redoing the gutters too, and I'm just waiting. They've got the roof done, and I'm just waiting on the shingles, or the gutter. The guy that supposed to do the gutter, his wife had a baby, and so he's on paternity leave, which is fine, but I'm surprised they don't have, like, it's a bigger company. I'm surprised they didn't have more than one person who could do the gutter, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so we're waiting for that. So when it rains, it just all floods off the sides of the house because we currently don't have any gutters. hopefully that will be remedied soon. I don't like go mad about covering the paper. I think that's good. Usually I cover it like head to toe, just completely cover it. But this time I'm gonna do it a little differently, and I have some Sumi ink, and I'm just scribbling, nonsensical patterns across it, just to give it some fun black in there, to give it a little contrast. Some of my spots are a little big. I do end up like blotting some of that, some of the puddling, and drying it with my heat tool. And then now that it's dry, I'm going through with a white paint pen. This is my set of Funsel's white acrylic paint pens, and just making patterns and shapes, and figuring they probably won't even look like themselves when I'm done. They kind of do, but I just thought it would be fun to put circles on there, so we're doing that. Then I'm going to take out a little bit of gold, and we'll just splatter a little bit of metallic on here. It's real subtle, like you can hardly tell. I mean, you can see it here, but once it's done, and dry, it's hard to see the gold. All right, so it's dry, and I've trimmed off the edges, and well, almost dry, blotting a few spots. I was impatient. I want it to be done. So I'm going to fold each direction into thirds. So I'm going in half, and I have a little piece sticking out. We'll just add a little glue to that and glue it back down. And then I'm just folding in on both sides, trying to make it as straight and even as possible. And you could use a scoring tool for this part as well if you wanted to. So I have that little spot. We're just going to put a little glue on there and get it to stay down. And now I'm going to do the same thing the other direction. Fold it in half and then fold in on both sides. Got another little spot, needs a little glue. And then again, folding in on both sides. So I had to decide, once I had those done, I had to decide if I wanted my book to be landscape or portrait. So I had to think about that when I was cutting it. So I did it for portrait. That's the standard book shape. So then I had to think about where I was going to cut it. So you come in on one side for the end, and then you're going to cut the middle one from the opposite side. So you've kind of got like this zigzag going. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I just started folding, accordion fold. I don't know if you're supposed to fold down first, but I just went for it. I didn't look at any instructions. I'm just trying to make sure all my folds keep my pages lined up so it doesn't go off some wonky direction. Okay, and so now I've got the basic book shape. I decided to glue down the back that's not collaged. I mean, I could have collaged both sides and just had a whole big thing, but instead I decided to glue them together. So instead of being an accordion book, it's like a standard book. Hopefully that makes sense. And I just glued each one of these sections together. Focusing on the edges. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how I want that to be. And it does, when you do this, it does have, you know, a couple of sections. Wherever you turn the corner, when you're folding that paper, you have a section that folds a different direction. So you'll see here, you know, I have, that's kind of going a little fast, but maybe I can slow it down. That's better. So I decided I didn't want it to do that. So each of those sections that go an opposite direction, I decided I was going to glue them together the right way. So I cut across the top, and I'm going to use my leftover coffee filter paper to create a hinge to connect them together. So I just tore it. I figured that would be the best. Having a rough edge kind of goes with what's there already and would be a little bit less noticeable in the end if I did it like that. And then I'm just gonna stack those two pages together, line them up, and they're hinged right there. I'm just gonna do that to each one of those sections. Have to be careful, you gotta remember where you're at. I matched up the pattern so that I could remember where I was at. And we're just going to take another piece and do the same thing. And then what started out as an accordion book is just a little mini art book. Trying to make sure I get that lined up and that that piece of coffee filter doesn't curl up on me. Okay, so there it is, all glued together. I decide since I did that, I kind of want to reinforce the back. Well, I looked for loose spots to make sure it's all glued down really well. And then I decided I would cover the spine. We're just going to use this piece because it looks like it's going to fit. And we'll just wrap that around the back. And that will be our spine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I do a little flip through here. I added a little poem, and that will be next. So here's my finished little book. I just put some rickrack around it. I added a quote from a book, well, a couple quotes actually. So it says, "You always select the colors of your thought. Drab or bright, weak or strong, good or bad." And then I added, "Most smiles are started by another smile." Yeah, so I hope you liked that video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.